Okay, so this is Landon Bryce from ThoughtCast.com with part 3 of this hilariously epic post about gay marriage. Again, I don't care if you watch this. There's this other video about where I'm actually talking about how this discussion relates to autism. I care about if you watch that one, please do. But this one, don't. If at this point in time, it's just for people who want to listen to me talk. That'd be my mom and me, and if that's you too, cool. I'm responding to this discussion on Blogging Heads TV between Ann Althouse and Glenn Lowry, and they've been talking about gay marriage and how it relates to religion. So I've mentioned a few times that, like probably 10, you're getting the full Aspie Landon today, that it bothers me in this discussion that they don't distinguish between religious and civil marriage. And another thing that really bothers me a lot is that they don't distinguish between what they owe to people who are laggards in terms of their beliefs and what I owe to people in terms of who are laggards in terms of their beliefs. And I think, the idea of miscegenation, interracial marriage, is a really good example. People who were white didn't owe people, I thought, probably, yeah, if I was a white person who understood that miscegenation was not a big deal, probably it was most helpful for me not to look at people who weren't quite there yet, as not bigots throughout the 60s. Not after that, though, right? But to expect a black person to feel that way in this culture was probably, I think, not very nice. And I think particularly not a black person who is involved in a relationship with a white person, right? I think especially, of course I would say those white people too, but if you were part of an interracial couple, certainly I think you had the right to feel that people who thought you were bad for feeling that way were bigoted. And frankly, I think, if I feel that people are bigoted and biased and bad people just because they go to a church that doesn't fully accept gay people, I think that's within my right as a gay person. Now, I don't feel that way. I think we all will, maybe, as I say, you don't know how public opinion is going to develop, but it's possible that may be a way that I will feel in the future, but I don't feel that way now. Again, my feelings about bias relate to how you think people should be treated by the government, not how you think people should be treated by your church. Okay. Now, I think that what Althouse says about, really it's strategically a bad idea, right? Certainly at this point in time, in this culture with gay marriage, it's not a good idea to tell people, that if you oppose religion in terms of your church, in terms of that you're bigoted and bad people. And I agree with them in terms of strategy. For supportive heterosexuals like themselves, that's not the right attitude to take. But I think it is really inappropriate for a heterosexual person like Ann Althouse to be morally judgmental of gay people who morally disapprove of people who disapprove of them. And the idea that, to start saying that someone is bad, that's not the issue. Gay people aren't starting. To say gay people, for gay people to say to somebody who said for centuries, saying that we're bad makes you bad. Saying that I'm not your equal makes you inferior to me if we're talking about morals, right? Because I don't think that I'm better than you. I don't run around saying I should be able to have all these rights that you don't have. I get the idea of morality, of love thy neighbor, on a whole level that you can't even think about, apparently, when it comes to me. So, I'm good, you're bad. When it comes to this issue, maybe you're better than me in lots of other ways. But here, I'm right and you're wrong. And for you to take the opinion that I am less than you, that you are better than me when it comes to civil, rights, what we should have in terms of the government, the way that the government should treat us, it makes me so angry that, these people who have gay kids are getting so self-righteous about the idea that I can't judge people for that. I can. I agree it's not strategically right, but you know what? Sometimes self-respect comes above strategy. Sometimes saying, no, I deserve to be treated as your equal is actually more important. See, here's what I think it's really important to understand, and I think that majority of people don't understand, is that the damage of bigotry is mostly inside the person. At least that's my experience. I think it's true of autistic people. I think it's true of gay people. I think most of the damage done by bias against us is done by teaching us that we are less than others, done by teaching us to hate ourselves. I think every time that a gay person, an autistic person, a woman, a person who's a member of a racial minority needs to stand up and say, no, treating me as less than you is wrong. This thing is morally inappropriate to judge us for that, ever. Okay, and here's another part where I get just furious, this time with Ann Althouse, because she talks about how horrible it is. If your cause is good, you don't want people to support it out of fear. You don't want people to, embrace gay rights because they're afraid. Well, why the hell not? As I say, I don't have health insurance because of people's bigoted attitudes towards gay people. Yeah, if fear gets people there, embrace fear, and I certainly, she's a law professor. I hope she never calls the police if her house gets burglarized. I hope she does, I hope if she gets, somebody commits assault against her, she doesn't call the cops, right? Because she sure wouldn't want, people to embrace the idea that she should be safe and because of fear, right? And again, for a lot of times for gay people, it comes down to basic safety. Why is this so hard to understand? Because you're not us. And that's it. If you got to the end of this, I feel like I really should give you a prize, but I don't have one. But again, this wasn't the important video. The other one, watch the other one. If you got this one, please at least do watch the one where I actually talk about how this relates to autism. And thank you so much for watching this. My goodness.